Alright, so we got some few exciting news. I have basically a lot of cards to review that I haven't done in the past. So, keeping Hearthstone fresh as of the year Kraken approaches, we focused on basic and classic cards because those will become foundational of both formats for years to come. It took much careful consideration to arrive here, but we believe that between our own analysis and reading plenty of community feedback, we've identified as a right card to change. There's a simple guiding principle that underlies each changes you're about to see. New card release should have an impact on standard, and alright, let's go over it. Druid cards. The most popular Druid decks are consistently composed of the same big chunk of Druid cards, that is true. Ancient Lore, Force Nature Savior, the Palace Shredder, Wild Growth, Innervate, Keeper of Growth, Swipes, Druid Claw. They're all in same exact Druid deck over and over and over. Well, not same exactly, it doesn't matter what form of Druid deck, it's all in there. I like that they're trying to change the dynamics of the entire Druid class to some extent. Alright, important to in general, we like the class as an Hearthstone signature card that appears decks frequently since they help to give each class its identity, which I agree. We also think that it's good for some signature classes to be in Druid decks too. For example, Innervate, Wild Growth, they embody to Druid unique strength, so we chose not to adapt them. Alright, I agree. How about Force Nature Savior? Oh, it's about to come. Ancient Lore drawing is powerful in Hearthstone, and Ancient Lore easily found its easy way into nearly every popular Druid deck. We'd like to deploy to feel that other cards can compete with the Ancient Lore, so we reduce the number of cards from 2 to 1. What? Without reducing cost? Alright, so this becomes now 2 mana, draw a card, 5/5. And it's not so efficient compared to Azure Drakes anymore. Azure Drake is 5 mana, 4/4, 1 spell power, which helps with a Druid because they use at least 4 spells as of now, which are 2 swipes and 2 rats by default. And you know, a lot of them also use the Living Roots, which add another card or 2 to spell, for spell. Force Nature, new version of Force Nature lowers mana cost by 1, oh my god! But removes a charge and makes a summon 3 treant per minute. Like it's rather treant somewhere. The changes are also remove powerful 1-turn combo of Force Nature Savior. No! It don't. Now the opponent will have a chance to deal with the threat that the treants represent, and it won't feel mandatory to always include a combo. Oh god. 5 mana, 3 2/2s are not particularly amazing. It gets easily taken out. It's just like Silver and Recruit. Silver and Knight and Silver and Recruit. 5 mana, 4/4 and 2/2, which I consider better than someone 3/2 treant. Unless the treant has a combination along with the other cards like the Soul of Forest. We'll see. But I don't know, with the 5 mana, I just think that Belcher is a much better defensive option. Like if you're summoning 3 2/2s over one other big minion like Druid Claw, obviously this is for defensive measure, unless that minion has a taunt, or could be for, you know, swarmy decks like using Soul Forest that I mentioned. So we'll see how this deck comes into the swarmy deck. But it's important to note that Force Nature Savior combo is out, completely out. Whew. Captive Grove is a strong, versatile minion that combines the silence with the solid strats, which made a decision to include in every Druid deck virtually automatic. Yep. Innervating Outkeeper completely shuts down any aggression early game to kill cards like Knife Juggler. So the Keeper of Grove shouldn't be a default choice for all Druid decks. The stats should be introduced. Oh my god. The stats has been changed to 2 and 2 from 2 and 4. That is a huge and significant change. Now Keeper of Druid is not a defensive card anymore. It's more of, you know, deal to damage or silence a minion. Which means I think now the Spellbreaker is a good card to replace the Keeper of Grove. It's just stat-wise, it's too big of difference it makes. You can probably include the more defensive cards It's just Keeper of Grove, I don't know, 4 mana 2/2, even if it deals 2 damage, it's as good as a 4/2, right? Or 2/4 instead of a 4/4 as other usual 4 mana cards. Just adding stats up together. Silence and removal. Speaking of Keeper of Grove, silence and minion removal are potent effects in Hearthstone. Currently, some removal options are too wildly played. Really? Alright. Oh yeah, okay, like if it came on it. Our touch to minion with efficient stats are simply too powerful. While removal is an important part of the Hearthstone, it also makes playing big, exciting minion less rewarding. We're adjusting some of these cards so that decisions to them to your deck comes with a cost, especially if you don't end up finding an ideal target for them. This change should help make cards with the high attack or cool effects more interesting too. I somewhat disagree with that because if you're removing removals or silence, or if you're nerfing them in general, it should actually increase the power of the aggression. Hence, by default, even without reducing the stats or increasing mana of a silence cards, which happen in Owl and Keeper, it just rewards aggressive decks by just removing these, in my opinion, more so than rewarding mid-range and aggressive decks. As of now, I consider the meta too aggressive. No 7-drop above Dr. Boom. No, even no 6-drop above. No 6-drops that are more powerful. I don't know. Like, Big Owl has taken a huge hit. Now it costs 3 mana. Ooh. Instead of 2 mana. Sets are same, it's the same silence. I actually like this change because unlike the all other silence cards that I mentioned or removal card I mentioned, this actually nerfs the aggro decks. It removes the removal, or it reduces the option of aggressive decks to remove taunts, which leaves also Black Knight as a good alternate option to remove taunts. But then you're not really playing aggressive deck. It's moving. They're trying to move the deck towards more of mid-range, late game, or maybe they're trying to see good mixes then because there are simply too many aggressive decks out there. Big Game Hunter. Ooh, this change is huge. Big Game Hunter represents an inexpensive source removal that is a package with a minion. I agree. It's efficient enough that some heroes with a powerful class-based removal cards choose to run natural Big Game Hunter. We've increased cost of a card from 3 to 5. So, this is a huge nerf to Big Game Hunter. 5-drop removal. I do not. I definitely think that this is a good approach to have game more towards the late game. Ironically, by removing cheap removal to heavy cards, and we'll likely see more 7 attack or higher minions. Because simply Big Game Hunter might be too expensive for some of the heavy decks out there. So heavy decks would not be running as much Big Game Hunter, hence increasing number of big cards within the within the big deck. For example, the Handlocks can't really use Big Game Hunter and removal at same turn. It's just too expensive. It costs 9 mana, so it's just simply too expensive to combo it. Handlocks, at best, you can take the board with a Molten Giant, remove the threat on board with the cards like Big Game Hunter or Shadow Flame, or both, and taunt up as well, so defends his face as well at the same time. So they're trying to remove all these heavy, completely one-sided map flipping, board flipping cards, which I can see it. I can definitely see this moving forward. 5 mana, I do think it's somewhat fair, with the exception of Big Game Hunter against Dr. Boom. Dr. Boom, I don't know. At 2 extra card, 2 additional mana cost, you're summoning 2 1/1 Boombots, which would be still fair if a Big Game Hunter wasn't used as a counter. If those 2 cards were played fair, then I would say, alright, that's pretty fair. 2 extra mana, and then 2 1/4 random damage across the board. But against the all other minions, I can totally see this card being fair removal now. It's not too board flipping. It's 5 minutes. Sounds fair. And it also slows down the matchup because it reduces the combination of cards being played on the same turn. Hence, just reduces cards being played in general. Hunter's Mark is an important option for hunters, but too efficient for zero mana, which I agree. Hunter's Mark is a very, very good alternative option to Iron Big Owl, especially decks that uses Knife Juggler as well as a Unleash the Haunts, which a lot of them use. Increasing cost to 1 mana. Once again, yeah, they're just nerfing basically aggro decks, but I do not know if aggro Hunter in particular is one of the stronger decks out there right now. I think there are much more stronger decks out there. However, those decks are also being nerfed at least in the wild format. Secret Paladins should not have Muster for Battle or Shield in the Minibot. All those very heavily aggressive cards are being somewhat removed, I think, but to a moderate degree. So, alright, by removing Hunter's Mark. Well, not removing Hunter's Mark, but nerfing Hunter's Mark. Well, that actually means the classes like the aggressive Mage and Mech Mage or Face Hunter will be next strongest aggressive card or aggressive deck. So this change will also slow those decks down, which bringing meta towards more of a middle to late game. A Blade Flurry is a problem because it enables both War Clear and heavy burst damage, and also obstacle adding better cards for the Rogue. I actually did not think about this when I saw this Blade Flurry nerf initially. Oh my god, are they killing Rogue again? After all this, Miracle Rogue with a Leroy and the Noxineer combination has been awesome to me personally. But you know, if they're planning to add better cards to the rogues, then alright, I can see this change being good, actually. It will not only affect minions, not the face. plus 2 mana. Oh boy. So the rogue only have to choose between removing threats or damaging the enemy hero. I don't know if I like this change, man. It's my heart lies on rogue. I've been always since the beta a rogue player, at least to start with. That somehow I started my constructive career as well, the rogue and warrior. Oh man, it's gonna be all changed up. Hopefully they will add powerful rogue cards to balance things out, because as of now, rogue is not even close to top classes. Rather, it's one of the weaker classes, even after patch, I think. Powerful. Oh well, also if they add extra, you know, cheap weapon damage cards, unlike the Assassin's Blade, there are a few cheap weapon damage cards, like Deadly Poison, but I don't know if it's powerful, if they're powerful. Alright, there's Tinker Soul actually. But then it's too expensive, right? If you can have good 6 to 7 mana removal, not if you have to use a Tinker, Blade Flurry, and Hero Power, think about it. Even without combo, you need 10 mana by default. That's 10 mana removal, 4 damage AoE, and 4 damage single target. You still take the face damage. Compared to other removals out there, just too much. So if there can be a card that just as, you know, for example, 3 weapon damage or 4 weapon damage for 3 mana, maybe. Then it's you know, more reachable removal AoE wise. So yeah, since the Blade Flurry, they say that it's an obstacle to add more powerful rogue cards, maybe they can add powerful weapons. Unlike the Poison Dagger, that is absolute piece of crap that ever invented. Anyways, powerful neutral minions, strong while you play neutrals, so can be strike back. Alright, strifeful deck building decision and homogeneous decks, which I agree, because Knife Juggler is played in every single, you know, aggressive deck, same goes for Dr. Boom. These cards also make it more difficult to create new cards that can compete with them. Very difficult. Buster for Battle, Shield in the Minion, Shield in the Minibot. Oh my god. How about in Mech deck, Mech Mage? Also could be annoying. Mech Mage could make a comeback actually if a Knife Juggler gets a nerf. Anyways, we're adjusting these unusual cards so that other cards can become compelling replacement and open door for more of a power, more dex power to come from class identity, which I really like. Knife Juggler that I see first is widely used. However, the card is still good enough to combo with the Unleashed Doggy, Monster for Battle, although Monster for Battle is out unless it's wild. Should add a new weapon for a rogue, like 4/1, 2 mana. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Anyways, so Knife Juggler is getting a damage nerf to 1 by 1. Alright, I can see that. Leper Gnome is a powerful card. It's called, finds its way into almost every aggressive deck. Requires no further deck building decision to be effective. We'd like to other 1 mana minions to be more compelling, so we reduced the 2 attack to 1. Oh my god. So the deck, I don't know, man. I think the better change should be in reducing the deal 1 damage to enemy hero instead of 2. Might have been much better option, because Leper Gnome now presents 0 value on board for 1 mana. So it's like just using Arcane Missile on empty board, for example. Arcane Golem has been stable in many aggressive and one-trick-kill combo decks, which I agree the drawback is really relevant. It will address both issues by removing charge and increasing Arcane Golem's health, while leaving its drawback. Arcane Golem will now become 3 mana 4/4 with a Battle Cry. Give your opponent a mana crystal. Oh my god. So no charge, unfortunately, but give your opponent a mana crystal. 4/4 turn 3. So it's like Dancing Swords. Oh my god, I couldn't remember exact. Now it's like competing with the Dancing Swords. In fact, likely worse than Dancing Swords unless played on turn 8 or turn 7 or higher. I can even argue that this card competes with the Dancing Swords at turn 7. Just 1 extra mana, especially if the meta's gonna be slowing down, it's gonna make a huge difference. So I'd see this card completely thrown out of meta. Once again, Blizzard just completely killing a card, almost, but might not be relevant in Arena. 4/4 for 3 mana in Arena still being played. It's like a slightly sub-average card, but not good enough. Molten Giant is an interesting card, but it's too easy for a player to reduce to mana cost 0. We've increased mana to 25 to increase the risk to players must take to get a free giant. Oh my god. The changes to Force Nature and Arcane Golem will make more dropping to low health somewhat less risky as well, which I can agree. However, you still can be bursted down from 14 in most of the decks, in my opinion. So Molten Giant now costs 5 mana at 10 health. And if you want to get free Molten Giant, you have to drop down to 5 health. 5 health. That's right. Kill command hero power, even without beast. They're just nerfing, I think they're just generally nerfing, like, all the cards that we've seen for heavy cards. They're also in handlocks, so I think they're nerfing handlocks to somewhat degree, since the handlock it's a potent and the deck power total, if mana is slowing down, is a huge threat, especially with the big game hunter in the deck as well. I can see it. Yeah, I think the problem with the handlock is that it's too fast for control decks. It actually competed with the most of the mid-range decks as far as its deck power and speed of you putting heavy cards down. So if you're free to, take damage on turn 2 or 3, especially with the Knife Juggler and Leopard Gnomes and all the aggressive cards, especially the Owl, which was a good counter to some degree to handlocks, are out. Handlock might become too powerful, so I can see that they're nerfing that. Master of Disguise. Ability of Master of Disguise to grant permanent stealth has been designed obstacle for a long time, so we're changing Master of Disguise to only grant stealth until next turn. They're nerfing a card that is not being used too often anyways. However, this could be a good change. I don't know, actually, dude. Like, even with that permanent stealth, I don't know if card is being too. Unless they're adding, you know, a lot of good stealth minions. Wait, no, a lot of good minions that will benefit from stealth by a huge amount. This actually opens up a lot of window for Death Rattle or Battlecry that survives, or just generally, you know, beefy mid-range cars that can be stealthed afterward. But I'm a little surprised on the fact that they're nerfing the cards that are not being played, even in Arena, as much. Oh boy. And that's all the change. This change will arrive as part of Hearthstone Patch 5. Be sure to join April 27 for arrival of the next expansion, Whisper of Old Gods. Hey guys, MaSsan here, thanks for watching. Please join my channel by clicking this subscribe button and check out more of my videos right here. I appreciate your support, you're awesome, stay beautiful, MaSsan out.